Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening to today's episode of Sadie and Friends. Be sure to go on, if you wouldn't mind, leave a review. You can do that on Apple.
Why are you being so needy? You realize how unattractive that is to me?
On Spotify, you can leave just stars. So if you want to leave a review, that would be amazing. I get so excited when I get a new review. And also be sure to check out the website, sadieandfriends.net, for your chance to win prizes. There's lots of blogs and so much more. But before we get started, I have to thank my friends over at Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air. They are in the community, folks. They're deep in the community.
That sounds weird.
I actually just saw them a couple of days ago at a community event for the school. They care. They care about where they live. They care about their neighbors. And they have an amazing,
so I'll say it twice,
amazing amount of great reviews from people that I talked to from their website. Go to polarbearpha.com. And while you're there, check out the $99 spring deal that they've got going on. You should definitely get your AC looked at. What's weird is this last weekend, it was so warm. It was like perfect weather.
Woohoo!
And then we're going into next weekend. What if I told you it's going to get cold again and it just might snow?
No!
Right? That means if you're like my home, it's going back and forth. The temperature's going up and down because I like to be comfortable when it comes to the temperature. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to make sure to have them come out and do a complete system checkup for just $99. Again, that is such a great deal. And make sure that everything is running well, because here's the deal. You may turn your AC on and you may think to yourself, okay, it's feeling good. The cold air's coming out. It's doing what it should do. What if I told you that it might be just using so much more energy because it's bogged down, because it's old? We all get old and tired and need a tune-up every now and again, and it's the same for your AC unit. So get it checked before that incredibly hot weather comes, and it comes to stay.
You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby.
I'm on fire!
The hot weather where you can see like the heat lines over the concrete. You don't want any of that. You want to know you can go into your house and it's going to be a comfortable frozen tundra. So thank you so much to Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air for being a sponsor of the podcast. They are wonderful to work with, and you'll find that out when you work with them. Go check them out. That $99 sale they got going on for this, it cannot be beat. Go online today. PolarBearPHA.com. That's PolarBearPHA.com. Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air is a proud sponsor of the Sadie and Friends podcast.
I'm gonna say the thing you're not supposed to say.
Let's talk about marriage.
They have like a 2-second rebound rate and you're back doing the next pain in the ass thing.
Parenting. Oh my gosh.
They have sucked the pretty right out of me. They treat me like it, and I do their laundry. Lucky me.
Sex.
I'm caught between two evils. I generally like to take the one I never tried.
Scary stuff like ghosts. I know it's totally out of left field, but just go with me on this.
Boo, you whore.
Love.
I give you what you need. That's all. I'm talking about taking care of each other the best you can. What's wrong with taking care of a woman? She takes care of you.
Friendships.
We get our necklace says best friends forever.
You sure you want it to say forever? I don't think you guys will be best friends forever, no offense, but sometimes you grow apart. And maybe she'll find a new best friend. They end up doing everything together.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Sadie.
Are you ready for another Murder Monday?
I mean, I'm ready for another murder every day, but yes.
Mondays are rough. And then you pie. So we try to give you murder on Monday to make it a little less bad. That sounds really horrible, though.
But then you could look at it as like, at least it wasn't me.
That's true. You can. If we're going to be looking on the bright side, we're not talking about hopefully anyone listening.
Oh,
well, no one listening who's been murdered, but somebody that's been touched by a murder. Because I know you once told a story of your neighbor being a murderer and you had no idea and you took them a gift basket.
Yeah. I'm obviously an idiot. Like,
you're dialed in. You're dialed into this whole murder thing. No, not to go back, but Kelly's neighbor, and this is in a previous episode, if you just look for Murder Mondays, Kelly's neighbor murdered her husband, and Kelly took a gift basket over and was like, or a sympathy basket.
Yeah. Like, I'm so sorry your husband died. To be fair, I had no idea that she murdered him at the time. It wased out there.
Later, were you like, give me my damn basket back?
Yeah. I was like, God, that had some Werther's Originals in it. Come on.
Oh, a Werther's basket. That's good. That's a good
shit.
to give if
And some
somebody's
cheese.
murdered. Yeah.
I want that back.
I love it. Kelly is here every Monday for Murder Monday. She has her own podcast. It's called ODFM, and it is taking a hiatus right now, but there are so many episodes that are banked that you can just, and you know what, Kelly? I was reading about comfort shows and people are now finding comfort podcasts where they can just put their headphones in and just listen. Oh, yeah. And I think your podcast is so great because I actually listen to it when I work out. It's just kind of in the background. And I listen to your murder stories. You have so many good ones. And she's kind enough to come on here every single Monday and tell us about another insane murder. And they're all so different. They all have such different outcomes. It's just shocking.
Somebody usually dies. So.
Well, that's always a given. But like sometimes they never find the person that killed them, and sometimes they do. And so, but no, yes, baseline, somebody always does get murdered. So let's jump right into it, Kelly. What do you got for us today?
All right. So imagine you're 15. Okay. You're like, your biggest concern it should be whether your crush noticed your new hoodie or if your braces are going to come off before prom. Things that really matter, right?
Right.
No. But for this girl, Tess Dam, nah. She's orchestrating murder with her boyfriend and journaling about it. Like you would.
Smart. She's so smart.
Let's keep a record. Yeah. So she literally wrote in a notebook, I want them dead. Like handwritten, like in a notebook. So for posterity, for future purposes. So naturally, we've got to talk about this teen girl who decided to DIY a murder with the kind of planning you'd expect from like a C+ group project.
Oh,
not an A.
Not a good planner. Not a good.
No.
Okay.
She's not good. So Tess Dam, she was born in, and Dam as in D-A-M-M.
Got it.
It could be a fun last name, but Tess Dam, she was born in 1991. And by the time she was 15, she's living in Lafayette, Colorado.
What?
Another
right
Colorado.
Here in our backyard.
Yeah. She's with her mom and her twin brother. And on the surface, they're just your average suburban family. But underneath, it's like total Lifetime movie vibes and like the happy holiday ones. If you're into those things. So her mom, Linda Dam, was like, let's say, struggling is kind of a generous way to put it. She had a drinking problem. She's a controller and reportedly had a flair for being emotionally abusive. Not a good move. Tess and her brother were essentially raising themselves while also dodging these emotional grenades their mom's always putting off at them. So not a chill household. Not when you want to be in real cozy. So Tess, I know it's sad, right? So Tess, she's smart, but she's rebellious. I mean, growing up in that kind of situation, you're going to be. She's the kind of kid who reads like Sylvia Plath and then shoplifts eyeliner or, you know what I mean?
She's dark and broody but very intelligent and
right. Yeah.
Leaves her copy of the bell jar just out so people will ask her about it.
Right. Let me tell you about it.
I love those. I love those people.
So at that age, she met Brian Grove, her boyfriend / partner in murder in 2006. He was 17 and he wore a trench coat in public. And yeah, we know those types. Yeah, especially in Colorado. No. He gave off that I play vampire role-playing games kind of vibe.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Real catch. So truly, Brian is the kind of guy who he wanted to be seen as a misunderstood genius. She seems about the same with that. But he's most likely just a teenage edgelord, like edgy, trying to be cool with homicidal fantasies, right? So
right.
Unfortunately, Tess is very into this. She's like, that is so hot, your trench coat and angst. So they start dating and things go from 0 to let's kill mom really fast. They had this whole Bonnie and Clyde fantasy thing going, like, except minus basically the charm, charisma, or bank robbing skills.
Or backstory that's really, yeah.
Yeah. So these are just murdery teens with too much eyeliner and not enough adult supervision, basically. That's why I don't trust teenagers with trench coats, especially
I don't really trust anyone. I feel like trench coats are such an old school thing that you almost have to be like, what's this guy up to if they're wearing a trench coat, which is really sad because the inventor of the trench coat did not deserve this.
This is not what I had planned.
Exactly.
Right. So before we get to the murder your mom part, so we got to pause on the family dynamic. There's more. Neighbors had called CPS multiple times because mom, Linda, she's known for being not a great parent, and daughter Tess had been removed from the home briefly before going back. So why not return the child to this volatile situation? You know, what could go wrong?
Yeah, right. There's already obviously writing on the wall.
Yeah, foreshadowed. So by early 2007, Tess is secretly journaling about how much she hates her mom. She'd write things like, my mom is the root of all my problems and I want to kill her. I want her dead. Oof. So like most people write angsty stuff as teens. Like I had a whole folder of really bad
people
poetry.
Who pissed you off.
No, just bad poetry about how brokenhearted. Oh yeah. But this isn't just like moody doodles. She's plotting. So the big difference between I hate my mom and, you know, let's do murder. There's a big gap here. So Brian, you'd think he'd be like, you know, maybe we should get therapy first. But no, he's like, yeah, I'll stab her. We should probably do this.
Brian in the trench coat. You suck, dude.
And they both thought this is a perfectly reasonable bonding activity. Why wouldn't you do this with your, I guess, significant other? This is like an unsettling setup, but now we got to like get into the crime itself because this is some good teenage melodrama that goes full crime horror show all in one, like you've been wanting. I know you have.
I know I've been craving
teenage drama. So by February of 2007, Tess Dam and Brian Grove, they're full blown murder curious. It's what I could come up with. Like,
it's an interesting way to put it. So they both feel like they just want to know, on top of, you know, the girl not liking her mother. They also are both those type, because you hear about murderers who are like, I just wanted to know what it feels like.
I wanted to see someone's life be snuffed, that type of weird shit. And unlike most teens who are just like, you know, I'm mad, slam a door, and they write, I hate my life in gel pens. These two are like, let's do actual murder because we're so cool and tough. And remember, Tess is 15, Brian's 17. So it's like exactly old enough to think you know everything, but young enough to be like so wrong.
Yeah.
So the
so wrong.
So
I always,
wrong.
You know, I do always feel bad for not only the victim, but also when they're kids doing it. It's like, you dumbass.
Yeah.
You're going to wake up in your 20s in prison and say, wow, is that truly worth what happened?
Maybe I should have waited till my brain fully developed to make this kind of decision. But no.
Just going to jump. Okay.
Just doing it. So here's how it went down. That on February 27th of 2007, Tess lures her mom, Linda, into the basement of their home. I know. And Brian's down there already hiding with a knife, like a knife, not even a halfway thought out backup plan with like, I'll be
wearing gloves.
Yeah. Something. Or with another weapon in case I lose this one. They're just like, well, let's just wing it. He's like, I'm just going to be behind the furnace with a blade, you know, and that's it. So Linda comes downstairs, probably like to check on Linda or laundry or yell about something because she sounds like the type. And Brian jumps out and stabs her multiple times, like straight up horror movie. He stabs her 18 times. And afterward, Tess reportedly comes down and she sees her mom's body and she's pauses and, you know, at first you think like maybe she feels bad, but no, she basically gives Brian a high five. She's like, maybe not literally, but they're weirdly proud of themselves. Like, we did it. Oh my God.
That wasn't so hard.
Yeah. It gets more disturbing. They left so bad. They left the body in the basement for days. But what they did, they covered it with blankets and towels and sprayed it with Febreze.
Oh, stop it.
Like that's going to do anything. Febreze. I know.
What idiots. What dipshit dumbasses.
Totally. It's like inspired by a bad episode of like CSI. Meanwhile, they keep going to school. Like nothing really happened, which is shocking because they don't seem like the type that are really into school. But Tess goes to class. Brian hangs out like a weird unpaid boyfriend. And Linda, the mom, she just became unavailable. So people are trying to call. She's just not there. And this, if that's not bad enough, these kids, they decide, our friends would probably love to see this. So, yeah. Because if you're going to do murder, why not like add a little show and tell crime scene?
Yeah, they seem pretty proud of themselves. So how did they do that?
They invited two friends over. They show them the body in the basement. One of them immediately freaks out, as a sane human would, and runs home and tells her mom. So that mom calls the police like another sane person would do. Thank you, random girl, for her basic human decency, right? Like, yeah, good job. So they basically get caught because of their own little tour group that they had put on. Maybe they should have vetted them first, is what. Like,
what idiots.
Like, if we show you something, can you keep your mouth shut? But no. And so it tells you how badly these two thought this out. No escape plan, no cover story, not even a way to get rid of the body. Just let it sit there and Febreze it. When the police show up, Tess, she folds right away. She's like, yeah, here's my notebook. Here's where I wrote, I want her dead. Oh, and the aftermath gets even messier. So we've got the confessions. There's court drama. There's journal entries and so much teen angst, like hot topic, big time. So we got to get into the chaos of the spiral of the afterwards. So the cops show up, and thanks to that one friend who had the common sense to tell her mom. And from that moment that they knock on the door, it's like a Shakespearean tragedy, but written by like freaking toddlers. So the cop asked Tess, like, where's your mom? And Tess says, well, oh, she's out of town, which, yeah.
Brilliant.
Cool
Brilliant.
Story. Cool story. Good story. Except they can smell the decomposing through the floorboards, and Febreze cannot cover that shit. They're like, it smells funny in here. Weird. It smells like death and decay. So, yeah, we're going to need to see the basement. And Tess, instead of like, no, I should probably get a lawyer first. She's like, okay, let's go down to the basement. I got something to show you. And she literally takes him down there and says, my boyfriend killed her and I helped clean up. Although
it was a little deeper than that.
Yeah. And I don't know if he really cleaned up because there's the body there. But there's
you laid a rug over her and sprayed Febreze, which is pretty typical teenager behavior when it comes to cleaning.
Oh, for sure. Let's just pretend that doesn't. Yeah. Sweep it under the rug. Yeah. Zero poker face for these two. So she's like, yeah, I'm not going to stop now. Let me give you all the evidence. Let me just give you it. So she gives them basically Exhibit A, her notebook, where it says, if Brian kills her, I'll be free. And he's doing it because I want it. I want it more than anything.
Oh, wow. Next level dipshit.
Yeah. Yeah. She should have just mailed it into the cops right away and be like, here. But no, I'll wait till you're at my door. After that confession, both Tess and Brian are arrested, but then things get legally spicy. So Tess is, she's only 15. She's facing some really grown up charges because she did something very, very fucking bad. But her defense team is like, whoa, let's hold up here because this kid's been through some shit in her life, which fair, but not everybody kills because of the shit that they do. Just saying. So they lean hard into her abusive home life, like her mental state and Brian's influence being the trench coat boyfriend. So basically they want to pose her as this manipulated, traumatized teen and saw no other way out than killing her mom. I mean, I can kind of see that. There's the battered wife syndrome type thing too. And women, sometimes it's their only way out. But Linda Dam, she's no saint, the mom, she's had CPS after her before. There's evidence of long-term emotional abuse. And as for Brian, he's older, he's more dominant in the relationship and basically fed into Tess's fantasy of escape via murder, which run away. And Tess claims that she never physically hurt her mom, like that it was all Brian. All I did was like high five. But prosecutors aren't buying this. Like, I was just an accessory and I had this amazing journal to prove it.
Yeah.
So they charge her with first degree murder and conspiracy.
Oh,
so,
damn.
Yeah.
That's a biggie.
And teen couples should not be allowed to conspire because nothing good comes of that. So Brian, he's this good old, like, she made me do it. That's his routine. That's his defense. You know, the good old, I
didn't want to do it.
Yeah. He claims Tess is manipulative and that he's just trying to protect her. And that'd be a great and all, but he did stab Linda 18 times. It's not like reluctantly helping. I mean, he brought his own knife and shit.
Yeah.
Oops. How did that happen? So both of them are booked and the press has a field day. I mean, so much fun. It has murder, teen angst, all the good stuff. Dead mom, handwritten confessions. But the courtroom or the confession sealed it. They were totally going down. I mean, she's got this notebook. So
I mean, she literally writes out how she's going to do it. Yeah.
Right. And exactly
what a complete idiot.
Idiots. So they get to trial and this teenage defense, you know, it brings us front row to this mess of bad decisions and all these fun legal strategies and teenagers who suddenly realize that, oh shit, when you murder someone, there are consequences and these are bad.
Yeah.
So now it's mid 2007 and Tess Dam and Brian Grove, they are both behind bars. They're facing these first degree murder charges. And the state of Colorado is basically like, yeah, you're not pass and go. You're not collecting your most dramatic couple awards. You're going to stay in prison. So this is when their paths start to split. Like, oh, wait, maybe we're not in love. So Tess, she's a minor. She gets the benefit of juvenile court considerations, sort of. Brian, on the other hand, he was 17, and that's just old enough to get the, like, congratulations, you're an adult now.
Yeah.
Surprise treatment from the legal system. So I bet he didn't see that happen. And so prosecutors, they're gunning for the big charges. They're like premeditated murder, conspiracy, tampering with evidence, the works. But Tess's defense, they lean into her age, the abuse she suffers, and Brian's influence. And they basically say, yeah, she wanted out, and she wrote some very yikesy things in her notebook. But no, she did not plunge the knife into her mom. That was all Brian. And honestly, that did make a difference. And so she's given, and I've never heard this before, but accessory with issues. Well, okay, I might have made that up, but she.
Oh, I'm like, wow, that's a thing. Okay.
So she's basically given accessory, but her attorney paints her as this vulnerable, desperate teen whose judgment was clouded, you know, with hormones and all that. And the court is like, okay, she's not exactly a criminal mastermind. So in 2008, wow, her name is not Course Dam, but Tess Dam, she took a plea deal and she pled guilty to second-degree murder. So she got a little more than accessory and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, which gave her 23 years in prison.
Wow. Was that worth it?
Right. At 15, I guess she's 16 probably by this point. But
so 2-3 years tops, she had to be with her mom. And then
she would have been free.
She would have been free.
Yeah. So in 23 years, that's like no joke, especially at that age. You're missing your best part of your life. She's eligible for parole in her 30s. So like the age her mom never even got to, because her mom was really young when she had her. So Brian, he's a different story. He went to trial, and in 2009, he's convicted of first-degree murder, conspiracy, evidence tampering, and a little bonus charge, abuse of a corpse, because he Febreze.
What did he do? Stop it. What did he do?
All he did was Febreze, but that was still still considered evidence tampering and abuse, because, I mean, who wants to be Febrezed after you're dead?
No.
I don't. So Febreze is bad enough. So he got life without parole. So Colorado is like, yeah, you stabbed her 18 times. You're done with life on the outside.
And then, you know, bringing friends over to look probably just showed all the more that they didn't take it seriously. It wasn't like oh my God, we did something horrible. How do we fix this? How do we hide this? It was like they were proud of it.
Absolutely. Ugh. So during the trials, a lot came out about Tess and Brian's relationship, that like they had letters, text, journals, and it's all like this gothic horror teen romance story. It's really gross. It's like, I can't be free until she's gone, and this is the only way we can be together, which is stupid because they're together. Yeah, no, not really. Even after the murder, when Tess was in juvenile detention, she still wrote about Brian in diaries. She's still obsessed with this guy. Still talking about being together with him someday. Nope, he's not. He's going to be in prison forever. Tess gets 23 years. Brian gets life. And the world gets one of the most unhinged teen crime cases Colorado has ever seen. And did they ever learn anything? So after the dust settles, kind of Linda Dam is gone. Tess is in prison. Brian is in prison forever. And everyone who knew them was left trying to make sense out of what happened? Yeah, this dumpster fire. So the community of Lafayette, Colorado, they're shook. So this isn't just a crime. It's like this local team soap opera meets Dateline special that they're trying to figure out, with a real dead mom at the center of it. And people who knew Linda had complicated reactions. So some remembered her as being overbearing and harsh. Again, doesn't deserve murder.
Right.
Others say she was trying, but failing a little bit, but she was trying. Either way, she didn't deserve it. And definitely didn't deserve the Febreze. So basements should really come with a no murder clause, is my opinion. Like, okay, if you're going to get this basement, you got to promise me don't murder anyone, because it seems like everybody puts the bodies in the basement.
That's true. That's true. Like, yeah.
Right. Yeah. And as for Tess, she started doing interviews from prison. And in one of them, I know, I'm surprised. Like, why give her a platform? But in one, she says, I loved my mother. I really did. But I was mad. And I let myself believe she was the root of everything bad in my life. So it's like she still hasn't really matured.
It's kind of like the definition of being a mom.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's like your kids, you stay up at night, you feed them, you bathe them, you do everything. And then, and some of these kids just murder their parents. What is this called? Parental side? Isn't that, what is it called?
Yeah. Familicide is the whole family. So yeah, it is something like
that, where you kill your own parent.
Matricide would be the mom. So I guess matricide for her. So crazy. So the whole murder notebook didn't help her cause. And the oops, I'm journal when I'm moody type thing. Just don't do it. Or if you do, don't put critical
confession down.
And Brian had like zero redemption arc going on. No interviews, no remorse, nothing, just life in prison. He's probably still wearing that freaking trench coat in the day room, but he became the boogeyman of this whole story. And Tess is kind of like this sweet little, oh, look how innocent I am. But remember, she has this twin brother.
Oh,
like imagine his life. He's lost his mom, and now his sister is gone.
His twin.
Yeah. Collateral damage big time. So he stayed out of the public eye, and honestly, like, good for you. Like, get away. Everyone involved probably needs like group therapy. I was like, what did we learn from this? That teenage brains are still under construction. Abuse warps reality. So probably all that emotional abuse did warp her brain, but also never write, I want someone dead in your journal. And if you have, the biggest is if you have a teenage daughter dating a dude with a trench coat, no, call someone. Oh, and Febreze doesn't cover murder. That was the other one.
They should have that in their commercial, you know. They do not cover the smell of murder.
Right. Don't use this for murder unless they get it really good. And then they could be like, this is what they could have used.
Ooh,
but
good
didn't.
Point. But they didn't. Yeah.
So this is the tale of teen rage that I thought you needed to know about Lafayette, Colorado.
I cannot believe there's another one in Colorado. I feel like we're kind of neck and neck with Florida when it comes to crime stories.
Working our way up there. Working on it.
Oh my gosh. Kelly, you are amazing. Thank you so much for coming on yet again for Murder Monday with Kelly, the host of the ODFM podcast. If murder is your jam, you got to go check it out. You're just going to love it so much. And Kelly, we will see you next Monday.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kel.
Bye.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Sadie and Friends. Be sure to check out the website, sadieandfriends.net, for your chance to win fabulous prizes. Also, nominate people to win fabulous prizes. But before I check out for the day, I just want to say a big thank you to show sponsor, Garage Door Service and Sales. They have been in business for so long, it's hard to wrap my tiny brain around it. I mean, decades and decades. It's family owned and operated, been passed down from generation to generation. So you know you get people who truly care, because you don't have that great of a reputation and you're not in business that long if you're not taking care of your people and your community. And that's what they do. So if you just need something quick fix, like a squeaky spring, or maybe it's just an old tinny garage door and you want something new and bougie, change the look of your home and get a brand new garage door from Garage Door Service and Sales. Call my friend Patrice and her family. They got your back and they're going to give you something that you love. Garage Door Service and Sales, a proud sponsor of the Sadie and Friends podcast.